Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks. The one and only the Guerrilla Economist come to you live on this edition of Rogue News. Sorry for the late start, but we're finally here. And we're working the airwaves right now with my main man, Cowboy, doing his thing, making sure the broadcast is coming out crispy and clean. You know what I mean? Also, check us out, roguenews.com. Follow us on X at ESW Rogue News, at ESW Rogue News, as well as every single podcasting app known to humanity, plus a bag of chips. And guys, also check out our our paid sponsor.
Spade Poncer.
A spade sponsor. As well as our neutered vendors. Right. Our spades our paid sponsor, AlgoFactory.tech. AlgoFactory.tech. Learn to build the algorithms that work on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. AlgoFactory.tech, and we are still giving away that free. They're giving away that free algorithm. Just click the link in the description box and join. With that being said, Cowboy, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm hanging, my man. I can't complain. I mean, I could complain, but who the hell is going to listen?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody. If you were female, people would listen because, they care. But us guys, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, nobody cares, bro.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, no, same, exactly correct.
Do you remember? Do you remember who Ashli Babbitt was really?
The name rings a bell.
So I saw this happen back when the J6 deal, right?
Yeah,
and J6 got a little bit rowdy. It was like mostly.
I remember. That's the girl that got shot in the neck.
Yeah, she got shot in the neck. And I remember I saw it on Twitter, and I don't want to show the clip on here because that'll probably get the show. Anything with guns on a live show is going to get the show kicked off. So I've learned that recently, right? If you do something pre-recorded, you might have a chance. We're not going to risk it, but I will show this X post. And basically what's gone on here is there's claiming that this footage is newly released footage of, it's showing that this actually, was not a viable shooting, or, the officer is not justified in the shooting, basically is what they're saying. Now, I saw when it happened, I knew it wasn't justified because the Ashli Babbitt was not armed. They were she was, and I can show a still shot maybe.
Yeah,
and a still shot has a firearm in it, and I can't show it. But I can describe
really that uptight on YouTube. I mean, I don't
know.
We
can give it a shot. Do you want me to play at least the still shot and see if it gets us kicked off?
Yeah.
All right, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so here's a still shot of what happened. All right. So this circle is the tool, we'll say, used by the guy who shot Ashli Babbitt. You see the cracks in the window. What had happened was they had barricaded. You see these chairs and stuff. They had barricaded this area. And I don't know what's in there, it might be offices for senators or something. But on the other side of it, to the right, which you cannot see, are the people who were trying to basically break in and get through. So Ashli Babbitt was trying to kind of bang through a window and try to get through. I saw this happen as it was going on. It's so funny, during this and George Floyd and everything else, I was watching everything on Twitter, and I was seeing some stuff. And in this particular case, he just shot her in cold blood.
Yeah.
Cold blood.
Well, I don't know about you. As a grown-ass man, when I see a woman that is much smaller than me, I feel extremely threatened.
Especially when she's unarmed.
Yes, but yeah. One of the things I want to do is shoot her first, then ask questions later. Because as a grown man, that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know if you knew that.
When she's unarmed behind very thick glass, you could tell this glass is laminated. People are trying to break through it and they can't. So she can't crawl through. She's unarmed. And if you go look up the video, they're everywhere. Just put in Ashli Babbitt on X and you'll be able to see the video. Unarmed, can't get through. He just points right through the hole and just takes a shot at her.
Yeah. Totally.
You know,
he was scared, man.
Yeah, this guy is a large man.
Didn't you hear his testimony? He lost control of his bowels.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. He lost complete control of his bowels, and he had to shoot. You know, just that's what happens. What is it? Go back up. Cowardly Capitol Police Michael Bird murdered Ashli Babbitt was half bird. Of course.
Yeah. I don't want to
15 feet, and she was.
I don't want to show the image below that because it's graphic, and I don't want to get flagged. But I'll skip past it really quick. But there's plenty of stuff, and I saw it happen. I'm like, that was murder in cold blood. That was not self-defense. I know because I'm tactically trained. I understand the rules, and I conceal carry everywhere I go. And there are very strict rules to follow, and those rules tend to be even more pronounced when you're law enforcement, because law enforcement, you know, if they shoot somebody who's unarmed, they lose their job. The department gets sued. It's a big but not when you're in Capitol Hill, apparently. And this was in full view. I saw it as it happened. He literally shot an unarmed person. And I'm like, you know what? We have only so many things we can focus on. And I kind of sort of forgot about it. But I remember being one of the few people like talking about this Ashli Babbitt being murdered in cold blood. Well, Revolver does have an article on that now. Let's see if I can find it here. And that's what's, you know, basically this guy, where is it? Pelosi. I had the article up. Apologies, audience, that I somehow did not have the article up, but it's here and I will find it. And basically he made a false radio report after the fact. So let's see where it is. Oh, don't tell me they got rid of it already. Come on now.
What was the false radio report?
I think what he said was, let's do this. Let's search for Babbitt. Not Bobbitt. Y'all are too young for that.
It's going to give you some lady named Lorena.
Here it is. Newly released footage proves Ashli Babbitt was murdered in cold blood. There she is. It says here, we're going to be careful what we show here because, again, we don't want to get screwed. But basically, I want to get where it talks about his fake radio report. Yeah. After shooting Ashli Babbitt, Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Bird made false radio report. U.S. Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Bird, within a minute of discharging the bullet that fatally wounded Ashli Babbitt on J621, transmitted a radio message asserting that he was under gunfire in the speaker's lobby.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the video. I saw it like right after it happened. There is no gunfire. The only people who had guns in the video were the other Capitol Police with their ARs who were with the people trying to get through the window.
That's crazy, man.
The lawsuit says, in fact, no shots were fired at Lieutenant Bird or his fellow officers. That is true. The only shot fired, at least that's true from what I saw on the video. I wasn't there, let's be honest. The only shot fired was the single shot Lieutenant Bird fired at Ashli. He heard the loud noise of the gunshot. He saw her fall backward from the window frame. It's a brutal video to watch. And so he made a report. Let's see, here it is. And this is the X article here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he reported his readiness to fire back. So, I mean, I'm telling you, this is the kind of stuff. And look, I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of police. I know a lot of good cops. And I'm not the kind of guy who's like, all cops are bad. But it's, you know, and as a matter of fact, cops have a pretty difficult job. I know I have a cousin who left California to become to work somewhere else because the rules got changed in his in a conservative county in California, by the way, where it used to be that in order to justify drawing your weapon, it was something along the lines of like reasonable, and they changed it to necessary, right? So, you know, wow. I mean, think about that, right? Like, yeah, you know, it's how do you know it's necessary? Some guy reaches in his pocket. Oh, I have to wait until the firearm is pointed at me before I can shoot. Like, that's just not how things go. Like, this is not how police can. So basically he's going to just have to get shot before he can fire back. Like,
well, of course it makes total sense, bro. You know?
Yeah. So this is just the insanity that is, you know, that's going on out there. So with that said, Lieutenant Michael Bird has a special place in what I think should be a CCOT. I think he should be down in CCOT in El Salvador. I think he should be Indian style, bent over, like with all the rest of those prisoners lined up doing drills. And that would be kind.
Yeah, that would be kind.
That would be kind. That would be like, you get to live. Because he's a traitor to his nation.
No, he truly is, man.
He's a traitor to his country. He did not uphold the Constitution. He did quite the opposite. And now, if someone in there had a firearm and shot at him or even pointed it at him, okay, I got it.
Here you have a guy who completely lied. I'm under fire, and then he shot and killed an innocent woman. You know?
Yep.
It's like there's the whole point of, does the response justify what is occurring? You know, does the punishment fit the crime, so to speak? Right? If this is a lady who's just climbing in through the window because she was actually coerced by a Pantifa member to go in there, probably a federale for all we know, and for her to climb into the window and then get shot unnecessarily, it's come on, man, it's crazy, bro. It's
stupid. And the fact that, I mean, I saw it. Like, it isn't like, I mean, this was how many years ago now? 3, 4. This is 2021, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it was 2021. We are now in 2025. I saw the video. I know she was murdered. I mean, unless there was something in that video or before that I didn't see, right? Like, you always have to make room for, hey, maybe, you know, we're not seeing the whole story. But at least from that video, I'm like, no one, she was unarmed. Nobody shot at that guy. He had not fired. She was banging on the window, you know, I mean, that's fine. But she wasn't like firing a weapon at him. She didn't even have a freaking toothpick pointed at him. And he just shot her. Like, you trigger happy motherfucker. This dude, what he does at night when he goes home, you want to know what he does?
What?
He puts on movies of like RoboCop, and he gets out the Vaseline and rubs it all over his gun. And everything after that, I can't say on the radio.
Now, RoboCop has much more sense than that, dude.
Yeah,
you know, Officer Murphy, he knows how to take out a real criminal. This guy,
Lieutenant Byrd, as far as I'm concerned, unless there's something I don't know about this case, he belongs in CCOT for the rest of his life as a traitor. He should be tried for whatever traitors are tried for. I don't know what that is, but he needs to go away and not come back. And he's a piece of shit. All right, what we got next? Let's see here. Oh yeah, so Trump is taking over DC. Did you see what what I sent you on that? Like the numbers at DC, how bad it is for the murder rate?
I heard their murder rate is astronomical, man.
Oh, dude, here, let me flip to that screen. Let me zoom in a bit.
That's crazy. Look at the murder
rate. First of all, let's look at who they're comparing to.
Wow, Bogota, which is a very violent city.
This is per 100,000 people.
That's crazy.
And by the way, those of you on the internet, like, I know there's kind of a argument going on. Per capita is not a conspiracy. Per capita is like very, very, very simple, like science. And yeah, so 30 per 100,000. Washington, D.C. murder rate is almost twice as bad as Bogota, Colombia.
Yeah.
Mexico City, 3 times as bad. Islamabad, bro, 3 times as bad as Islamabad.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Dude. Worse than Paris. And Paris is a crazy place.
Paris is a crazy place, but
London's, I think London's even higher. You know, I think
London's lower.
DC. Yeah, no, it's showing lower, but you know, London doesn't report migrant crime anymore. Same thing with Paris and Madrid and all these other European cities. They stopped reporting the crime rates. So we know the crime rates are crazy high in places like London and Paris and in Madrid. They're just not reporting it, you know?
I believe that.
Because of migrants.
So are these people are just being reported as like they slipped on a banana peel and fell into a knife 28 times?
Yeah. It happens all the time, bro. I mean,
no, I've seen it. But you know, I imagine Bogota and Mexico City might be, you know, a little more closer to reality. Yeah. But I mean, it looks to me like Washington, D.C. is by far and away compared to all the rest of the U.S. cities. I don't see any U.S. cities on this list.
No.
So yeah, and Trump has basically federalized.
There too.
He's what's that?
Chicago should be federalized as well.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's
one of the worst
scenario as well.
Yeah,
so basically, so yesterday, President Trump, I'm looking at an article right here on Zero Hedge. He did something that no other president in modern history dared to do. He effectively took over Washington, D.C. policing operations in a sweeping declaration of public safety emergency. Look, here's the thing. Without public safety, you don't have prosperity. It's just that simple, right? He deployed about 800 National Guard troops, assigned 120 FBI agents for night patrol, put the D.C. Metropolitan Police under direct control of the Attorney General Pam Bondi. The mission to clean up the Capitol, its rising crime rates, and yes, the sprawling homeless encampments that have been swallowing up sidewalks and city parks. The reaction from some corners was an immediate outrage. How dare the president flex federal muscle in the nation's capital? But for those of us who've actually visited D.C. anytime recently, it's really not that hard to think. Finally. For too long, the capital of the United States, the city that houses the White House, the Congress, the Supreme Court, has looked less like the shining beacon of democracy and more like a live-action hellscape from a horror movie. Tourists and school trips meandering through downtown D.C. to learn about the history of our great nation are confronted with makeshift shantytowns, hypodermic needles, and smells worse than J.B. Pritzker's bathroom the morning after a long night of Big Ed's barbecue. For Democrats who seem fine with this nightmare, it's been like inviting guests over at dinner and letting someone pitch a dung-filled tent in the middle of your dining room and then acting offended when guests ask, is that really what we're going to eat? Now, let's be realistic. Federalizing the police isn't going to magically fix the tangled mess of causes behind the homelessness, and no one's pretending it will. But in politics, as in hosting dinner parties, appearances matter. And in Washington, D.C., the entire city is a stage. When the world leaders, diplomats, and tourists step off the plane, they're not visiting a city; they're seeing America's face. And that is absolutely true, and it's a nation in moral decline in more ways than one. And it's good on Trump for doing that. But what happens in the next 4 years, right? Is going to be a permanent thing. We all know, a lot of people are counting the Democrats out and this, that, and the other. But never underestimate your enemy, man. Never underestimate your foe. Never underestimate those who want to radically change this country. And let me tell you something. It's like they have something that we're not that great at. They're phenomenal at organizing.
Oh yeah, that's their whole thing.
Yeah.
It's because the conservatives are not upset enough yet, and you think they would be after everything, but the left. Okay, so the boomers fell asleep, and they let the education system get taken over. And this is like we were talking about yesterday with the IDF, because the IDF were once, those members of IDF were once young children, and they were taught from a young age that anybody that is not in their tribe is subhuman and therefore okay to shoot off body parts, right? So they're over there in the IDF. They're just shooting little kids that are throwing rocks at them, according to reports. I haven't seen it myself. It's the same kind of thing what they've done to the people in the U.S. They've educated young children from the time that they're in kindergarten to believe all the leftist bullshit. Yeah. And these people are like just going for it. And they are just going for it. And it started when I was a kid, and it's a result of many things. But I think the catalytic event would be something along the lines of like the 1960s revolution, the founding of the Department of Education. We saw a big left turn after that, because before that we had McCarthyism trying to keep communism back. McCarthy was made fun of, even though, as a matter of fact, he probably was trying to do the right thing, but McCarthy was a bit of a bull in a china shop. And keeping the communists out actually would have been great, but that's not what the people who controlled things want. So now we have the bullshit, and now we have a disease, and our country may not survive. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? In fact, you talk about the changing landscape, right? What about this here? You were just telling me about Florida yesterday. U.S. mortgage rates tumbled to lowest level since April.
Well, yeah, we're seeing the Fed about to cut rates in September next month.
Yeah, you think 25 or 50 basis?
25. Nothing but 25. The Fed is an antiquated institution, as with all central banks. They're always late to the party, a day late and a dollar short, and they never see any crisis before it's already on top of them. So, this is to spur the bubble, to create. Nothing's been systemically fixed since 2008 collapse, right? Since the 2008 financial collapse, nothing has been systemically fixed. This is just more asset bubble blowing. more and more and more and more until the bubble finally pops. And then somebody's going to be left holding the bag. And we all know who that somebody is.
This could be our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, boomers will go right off into the sunset, right? Sunset. We'll see a crack up boom, and maybe they'll be able to. This shit, man. The boomers are approaching 80 now. They're not going to make it through. If anything comes that's really bad, they're just going to have lived their life and not care, right? So you got us in the Gen X crowd, and I mean, we're definitely a lot more stable emotionally than the snowflakes after us. We don't fall apart when the wrong pronouns are used. Like we understand things. But the millennials, that whole education thing really, really took off with the kids that are like maybe 5 years younger than us. Those guys, they're fucked. They're done. And so now what we are seeing is the result of the economic, policies that we've been holding going on back to, I would say, the 1970s, when we really started to deindustrialize in the early 80s and the 70s, when you started to see the Rust Belt fall apart, and a lot of business was sent overseas around that time, went to Japan, many other places besides Japan. And of course, the 90s was the death stroke where we gave all of our technology over to China, and they have since been educating their populace and improving on our tech and developing their own tech, because no, they don't steal everything they have. They've invented their own stuff, and I don't care what anybody thinks. So we're seeing a decline in rates. It increases home buyers purchasing. So they're going to go ahead and basically give people, I think it'll be either the last hurrah or it will be coming up on the last hurrah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, V? How long we got before?
I think this is the final bubble to be blown, and this bubble could take us to the next 3 to 5 years tops. That's how these cycles usually run. The question becomes, what's on the other end of this thing, and that's the terrifying problem right there. What is on the other end of this?
I think we have a Great Depression, and I think it's going to be a minimum 10 years.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a lot of pain for 5 years.
A lot of the tech bros think that everything's going to be hunky dory and we're going to be all right, but that's just not reality, man.
Yeah, let's hope that during this time we don't lose our ability to make food.
Yeah,
as long as we can make food, that would be ideal. And I would stay away from debt. And if I had any, let's just say I'm not saying my own situation here, but let's just say I had a mortgage, I'd try to pay that off. I don't know, that's a big ask for a lot of people, but when you build algos and you trade, you can make money come out of nowhere. But even so, you can't just get lucky in trading. That's a lot of work, right? So I would get away from every kind of debt that I could at that point. I would stay away from debt, pay off whatever I got, and maybe be ready to batten down the hatches. And of course, we always have the talk, guns and ammo and gold. And yeah, sure, maybe. I mean, have those things. I don't know that it's going to get that bad. But hey, plan for the worst and hope for the best, right?
Yep, exactly.
So if we see even a 25 basis point cut in September, I think the markets would come up. Dude, look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ almost made all-time highs today based on nothing. So they're going to continue to push the markets up. What will happen if we do end up having a number of cuts and interest rates go into say the fours? Then we might start to see, hopefully, some public works projects, and then that would maybe build our infrastructure. And but we've been hoping for that for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going to hope that Trump's going to come save you, it ain't working out so far. Good luck with that.
No, it's not working out so good either.
Yeah, what did you tell me about those home values in certain areas of Florida? You told me yesterday.
Yeah, there's some prices that are crashing almost 70%, man. I mean, you got people that are in condos that can't get out. Their HOA rates have gone up. People are dumping their properties left and right. Insurance companies are dumping a lot of these Florida real estates. I mean, I think even Gus will tell you he had to. I don't know how many times he's had to get reapply for homeowners insurance because they keep dropping him. It's crazy. It's a nutcase what's happening in Florida with real estate. But it's always been a very volatile, shaky place. It's not a stable real estate market at all in Florida historically. So, it is what it is, man. It's pretty bad.
Well, I'll tell you what we should do in order to fix that problem. I got the perfect plan. because we could follow in the footsteps of the smartest country in the world, and we can give our money away to third world immigrants. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that sounds great, man. That sounds good to me.
Because Germany's doing great right now, aren't they?
Germany's doing fantastic, man. I mean, the German economy is on the up and up. They have no energy crisis. They have one of the most business friendly countries in the world is Germany. And of course, folks, I'm absolutely joking. Do you realize they're taxing the sun right now in Germany?
All the taxing. So how do they collect? Are they?
Well, here's the thing: all the Germans that switch to solar, thinking it's going to be giving them tax credits and this, that, and the other, and saving the environment and blah blah blah. Now they're like, holy crap! Now they're taxing you for having solar panels. It's like, what was the point of this whole entire thing anyway? Oh, that's right, because climatization is financialization. That's all it is. People need to wake up to the grift. Climatization is financialization in other terms. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the ultimate, and forgive the term, people, I don't mean anything but, racist by this, but we used to say something called Indian giving, where it's like you give something to somebody, oh, I want it back. And that's what this is. This is, oh, we're going to give you tax credits for going solar. You're going to save money on your taxes. Oh, but wait a minute, we need that. And what are they going to do with it? Well, at least part of it's going to go to fighting age males with no skills that are brought over by NGOs, and they rape women. And I'm not saying what country that's in, but we are talking about a certain country here on this article here, and that's Germany.
Graping.
No, I didn't say the R word. I said grape. We don't say the R word because that's a problem. They grape, like grapes, like wine.
Oh, absolutely.
If you say the R word, you get kicked off YouTube. So they grape. Yeah, they throw grapes at the women on the streets. So the I'm there. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about that. Let's pretend for a moment that you're not even a bad person. You're just from a really bad area, and you're like in the North Africa or something, and life sucks. Even if you get work, it's shitty. And then you find out in, a nice place like Germany, compared to where you live, it's a nice place. Dude, 20, 30 years ago, Germany is awesome. I wanted to live there.
Was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Like high tech. Wow. I mean, gorgeous. It probably still is, like a lot of that stuff. Yeah. But anyway, the point here is you have a life that could be way better, and you find out that they're just giving money to people who go to Germany. What are you going to do? You're going to go to Germany, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
And people are thinking, oh, this is about these politicians, folks. Why are migrants pouring into Europe? It has nothing to do with the politicians. It has everything to do with the central bankers, because just like here in the United States, in central banking, the people that are coming in there are given identification cards and Social Security, their version of a Social Security number and whatnot. And that is being financialized. So they're derivatizing the migration. Yeah. They're profiting off of it. And then all the other cottage industries that are built around it, it's a huge financial boondoggle. Why not do it? This is what people need to understand. People think this is a philosophical thing. No. This is a vulture capitalist thing. This is a crony capitalist thing. This is an evil thing masquerading as altruism, masquerading as socialism, right? Masquerading as all these isms, when in reality, it is a wealth extraction scheme. They don't care about the population of Europe. Look, the greatest thing that a lot of these European elitists want is for the dark ages to return. That's like a wet dream for these people. They want that. And that's what we're starting to witness here is that very thing. And this is the reason why the borders are wide open. Because, look, when you have a central bank, when you have fractional reserve lending, when you have this type of monetary system in play, there's a reason why you're in perpetual debt. There's a reason why there's constant asset bubbles, booms and crashes, and there's a reason why you're constantly in conflict. This is hell. This is what hell is. So unless the people of the West, unless the Western world wakes up and realizes the type of hell that they're living in, realizes that the future of their progeny has been sacrificed for the benefit of a few, then there's no escaping this hellhole.
Oh yeah, and and Vela said it here. The elites love feudalism. I look at this like I was trying to mentally map how the elites might be working, right? And you have at least two kinds of elites, right? There are probably more, but the two that come to mind are those who want to profit from prosperity and those who want to just simply push everybody down and therefore be rich in comparison, right? And this actually translates directly to like how people behave in elementary school. So in elementary school, you got the bully and he just wants to beat everybody down.
Yep.
Right. And the bully is just a piece of trash. And then you have the guy, yeah, sure, he can fight, but he's like, like not a bad dude. And he has his buddies and, they all hang out and play. And maybe he'll even fight the bully. Right.
Yeah.
Now, in the end, everybody is out for self-interest. There's nothing wrong with self-interest. Even the cool guy is doing things for himself. He might also be doing things for others because it benefits himself. So there are people who believe in a win-win and people who don't. They just believe in a win-lose. And the guys who are like the Davos types who are doing this communism thing, anybody that brings communism into the picture, like with it, I'm talking about on the elite level. There's a lot of young idealistic people who like communism and they think it's good and they're not bad people and they actually honestly think it helps because they're just miseducated. But then you have these elites and communism is not what it's about for them. They want feudalism. They just use communism as a wrecking ball. And then when everybody is supposed to be the same, you still have a ruling class and then you have everybody else, which is effectively like a jacked up, messed up version of feudalism because feudalism still has a merchant class. Feudalism still has lesser nobles and things like that. Feudalism is not, if you ask me, it's far better than communism. And you'll have like our friend Ian Burlingame, who seems to think that feudalism is going to be the answer. And you know what? I'm not saying I like the idea of feudalism. I am saying that democracy ain't working out right now. Not how we have it. Maybe if we had fair and free elections, maybe if we had the population educated properly such that they understood economics and what is good for a country and the kind of sacrifices we might have to make for the future. So, if we had the right people running the show, which is what democracy is supposed to be all about, then we might be doing better. But I think that the only answer we might have, and I hate to say this, is going to be a benevolent dictatorship. I think that's the only way out of this, where we can have somebody who just takes over and hopefully they have good intentions.
We're heading in that direction, whether people want it or not. I think we're heading for a climax. This type of broken system. I mean, the United States is already fractured. It's already ceases to exist. It really does. What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll say after you're done.
Yeah. So what you have right now is red states, blue states. We're so polarized as a country right now. So we're there, man. We're there. So how does this move forward? When you war game it out, what does this look like? So whether people like it or not, we're going to have some sort of oligarchy on top of this whole entire thing. Some sort of oligarchical system with a ruling autocrat. If this is not course corrected and we return back to sound constitutional law, that's where we're heading, folks. Go ahead, Cowboy.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I got excited. We have the polarization. We got red states, blue states. I'm in a deep red state. I arguably one of the deepest red states. And I went to we have a shopping mall in the capital city. I sent you a photo of the kids, eating.
Yeah.
So we had a great time. But I took my son into the bathroom, and there are these guys in there that really, like, you wouldn't think would be in a deep red state. And I'll leave it at that. And one dude's washing his hair in the sink.
What the fridge?
Yeah. Now this is the capital city of, there's a university here. And so you're going to have all of the trash that you would have in a blue state, right? Yeah. So this guy is in the bathroom washing his hair in the sink. I'm trying to get paper towels to dry my son's hand. And he's just sitting there, paper towel after paper towel, drying his freaking hair, dude.
Are you wow, dude? Just wow.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Do you not have a bathroom at home, homie? Like, what are you doing? And it was him and his buddies all. I didn't feel safe. And if my kid didn't have to go to the bathroom, I wouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, is somebody going to freak out? Am I going to have to put somebody down?
Right.
And it's, it's just like, dude, at least move out of the way and offer some paper towels if you're going to treat this like your house.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, and I looked, and of course, walking around the mall, looking at it, I mean, it's still better than being in LA. And I don't know, bro. At the same time, like being in LA, going to a mall there, even though like the crowd is a little different, I felt more comfortable in LA, bro.
Yeah, because that's the same thing with like places like New York and stuff. You know what you're getting. It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
Yeah, like So in LA, it's like I'm like the white guy at the mall. I felt totally comfortable last time I went to a mall in LA, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and no one was, you know what I mean? It was just like everybody was normal, walking around, minding their own business. Not that people weren't minding their own business in this mall that's not in LA, but you know what, bro? It's a spider sense thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm hyper protection. I got 2 young kids, and my spider sense is telling me I got to get the heck out of here. There's something not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's that. And it's like the point was like to talk about that polarization, and then within these areas that are hyperpolarized, you get another polarization. And fortunately where I live, that is a small minority, and I don't necessarily mean like racial minority. I'm just talking about the mentality of people like that. It's a small minority of people, and if anything really bad goes down, that they'll be gone quickly if they act up.
Yeah.
If they don't act up, if they want to be cool, then they'll be cool. Nothing happens. It's all good. That's pretty much all. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about, but I think we're at the end of the hour. So what do you think?
Yeah, we're at the end of the hour. Well, tomorrow we got Gus on tomorrow, so keep it locked and loaded right here, folks. And with that being said, we are at the end of the show. We will see you all tomorrow. Take it away, Cowboy.